So today we begin the second day of the seventh annual Chicago Responsible Jewelry Conference. And I want to pick up today where we left off yesterday with something Brandy did. Brandy's very oriented to action. If something happens, I've heard her do this over and over again in the years I've known her. The next thing she says is, "What can I do?" A lot of people think, a lot of people have ideas, a lot of people wish things were different. And then there are people among us who say, "What can I do?" Susan said, "What can I do?" Yesterday afternoon, that was Brandy's instinctual response to the story that Abby shared with us and that all of the women in Merengue shared with us. What can I do? And then she followed it up because it's Brandy. She didn't just say, "What can I do?" She said, "I have some ideas. I'm going to do this and this and this." You'll find out a little later today, Anna Samsonova also started with, "What can I do?" And she has an idea she's going to bring to all of us. Today we're going to ask all of you to spend some time thinking about what can I do. And then this afternoon we're going to break out into small groups. And we're going to have an initiatives clinic. And you're all going to be challenged to come back as a group with an idea of what we can do. And you'll be sharing those ideas with the group. Because we cannot just be about talk. We must be about action. And even small steps matter. So don't get stuck thinking, "It's so big, I can't do anything." Instead, think about how you can chunk it down and do something. So have that in your heads. Be thinking about that today. And then this morning, we're going to start off with some joyful work, which is an introduction to Ethical Metalsmiths So Fresh, So Clean winners for 2023. So I'd like to invite Shannon, Kurzyniec, and Chelsea Rowe up here to do their presentation.
Right? Good morning. We're here. We are so honored to be here with all of you today. We are thrilled to talk about and present to you the Ethical Metalsmiths Students' Annual Project, So Fresh and So Clean, connecting student makers to the larger organization, Ethical Metalsmiths. This project builds into and educates student artists who are passionate about creating a more responsible jewelry and metalsmithing field. We will share a little bit about ourselves, then get into the good stuff about EM students and the curating of the 2023 So Fresh and So Clean exhibition. I'm going back, guys. The images you'll see throughout are student works that have been accepted into this year's showcase. More about that in a moment. My name is Shannon Kurzyniec. I'm currently a Master of Fine Arts candidate at Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond, Virginia. I received my BFA in Jewelry and Metalsmithing from Wayne State University in Detroit, Michigan. Not with us here today, but a third of our team is Ife Kong. Ife received her BFA from SUNY New Paltz and is a current MFA candidate at VCU as well.
My name is Chelsea Rowe. I received my BFA in Jewelry and Metalsmithing from the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee and continued my journey to VCU as well. I first learned about VCU's graduate program through the participation in Radical Jewelry Makeover Wisconsin. Those familiar with Ethical Metalsmiths will know that this program was co-founded by board member Susie Gaunch and Ethical Metalsmiths co-founder Christina Miller. Radicalized by the waste of the jewelry industry, Susie and Christina created a project that encourages wearers to turn unwanted jewelry back into raw material by donating it to RJM workshops where professional and student makers use their craft to save it from the waste stream, adding new value to it as recreated jewelry. This project travels to new institutions yearly, sharing and developing ideas of ethical and sustainable practice.
Many graduate students, like myself, were drawn to the VCU graduate program due to the ethical responsibility of studio practices and sourcing driven by Susie's passion and involvement with Ethical Metalsmiths. Ethical Metalsmith Students was founded by former graduates at VCU back in 2013. You may know some of them: Lucy Derrickson, Kelly Morrison, Jan Barton, and Brian Fleetwood, and is now represented by 2 chapters, one being maintained at VCU and one in Australia at Griffith University's Queensland College of Art, Jewelry, Small Objects Department, established by Ethical Metalsmiths Advisory Counselor member Dr. Elizabeth Shaw. The EM students' mission is to inspire students to think critically and ask the right questions about their studio practices as they relate to environmental and personal health. We aim to begin and promote conversations regarding wise and sustainable studio practices at the education level early in their metalsmithing career. We have developed projects that give students a platform to share the variety of ways that they implement ethical studio practices. Our longest running and most well-known is the annual online student exhibition and emerging artist award called So Fresh and So Clean. At VCU, graduate students become the leading members of the VCU chapter of EM students and are responsible for curating and facilitating this exhibition and awards. Under the guidance of its founder and EM board member, Lucy Derrickson, graduate students are tasked with taking the reins from their predecessors and creating a new exhibition as engaging, if not more, than the previous one. With So Fresh and So Clean, we ask students to examine what it means to be an artist in the 21st century, and we curate their responses into a showcase of the most innovative jewelry and metalsmithing work made within the past 2 years. We offer the guidance that a completely sustainable practice is an ever-evolving goal, and that the first step is becoming aware of the ways our works impact environmental and human health. It adds an important layer to the creative decision-making of artists. Through the lens of sustainability, So Fresh and So Clean challenges students to investigate their studio practices, processes, methods, and personal goals. The exhibition is published every fall on the Ethical Metalsmiths website, showcasing students who have unique, thoughtful work and artist statements, with a call for entry that is broadcast through social media and email. We encourage students to submit well-documented objects and projects to the exhibition. As part of their application, we ask them to write a brief artist statement as well as a responsibility statement addressing what the relationship is to ethical practice and describe how they turn thought into action in the studio, in their work, and in the dialogue with people and concepts.
Each year, we invite a guest juror or 2 to work with the VCU chapter to help us sort through and select work from the many international applications we receive. They help us sort through the selection process by offering a professional voice during the jurying stage that we believe reflects the mission and value of the exhibition. We typically invite a prominent educator or curator or established artist to contribute to the quality of its curation and the student perception of the exhibition as a professional opportunity. Along with being in the exhibition, we named 3 award recipients under the titles of Emerging Artist, Juror's Choice, and the EM Student's Choice Award. The Emerging Artist and Juror's Choice Award are picked with the help of these guest jurors. And each year, each title comes with the help,
It's okay.
Each title comes with a cash award sponsored this year by Hoover and Strong, Rio Grande, and Earthworks, respectively. So thank you. Thank you to each of you very much. We also highlight the emerging artist with a separate profile on the EM website, showcasing additional work and an interview about their sustainable practice. This will launch on September 1st. As we brainstormed this year's theme, we sought out an art historian and an internationally known artist to help us with the jury process. We invited special jurors, whom you may be familiar with, Gina So and Dr. Emily Storer, to join the So Fresh and So Clean exhibition this year. Emily is the Rita J. Kaplan and Susan B. Kaplan Curator of the Jewelry at the Museum of Fine Arts, Boston. Emily holds a PhD in Humanities from the South Virginia University, Master of Fine Arts in Fashion and Textile Studies from the Fashion Institute of Technology, and Bachelor of Arts degree in Psychology from the University of Massachusetts Amherst. At the MFA, she oversees a collection that spans 6,000 years and includes more than 22,000 objects. Highlights include ancient jewelry, a collection of growing 19th and jewelry century high-style jewelry. Emily was gracious enough to prepare and film a lecture for applicants to view as they work through their submissions, and we'll be sharing a QR code for that at the end. Gina is an assistant professor in metal and jewelry at Missouri State University. Her practice explores the relationship between body, clothing, sexuality, fetish, and space. She received her MFA in metal at the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, and her BFA in metalwork at the BFA in metalwork and jewelry design at Kookman University, Seoul. Her work has been exhibited nationally and internationally, including Munich Jewelry Week, Brooklyn Metalworks, Brooklyn, New York, Walker Art Center, Minneapolis, Minnesota, Woman Made Gallery, Chicago, Illinois, Sangok Gallery, Seoul, Korea, and AV17 Gallery, Vilnius, Lithuania.
It's been 2 years since the last So Fresh, So Clean exhibition and competition has run. We were eager to dig into the student submissions and delighted by the work you are looking at on the screen. This year, artists were challenged to consider the life cycle of their work. They were asked to consider how long they want their work to last. Is it ephemeral? Will it break down eventually? Was it made from uniquely sourced materials? Can it re-enter the supply chain? Addressing the future of our work and its life cycle is as much a part of the design process as the wearability of the jewelry object itself or the origin story of the materials we choose to make it with. We were delighted to view this year's submissions and distinctive outlooks from around the world. Artists shared complex narratives behind their inspiration and sources. Material choices were definitely examined in each response, from the use of overlooked materials like industrial steel and fiber, to the use of precious materials like 14-karat gold or sterling silver that may re-enter the supply chain in the future. Okay, sorry. The 2023 awards went to some creative and sustainable student makers. The $250 EM Students' Choice Award went to Rochelle Alderete. Earning her Bachelor of Fine Arts at Virginia Commonwealth University, Rochelle tells the story of what remains of Elder Creek, a magnified view at what the ecosystem in Elder Creek once was and what is now become, meant to draw attention to harmful mining practices and their impacts on local ecosystems. The $500 Juror's Choice Award, chosen by Emily and Gina, went to Amy Beeler, a current graduate student at Bowling Green State University. Amy adopted practices that prioritize sourcing local, sustainable, and ethical materials. And the $1,000 Emerging Artist Award went to Maria Hamad, earning her Bachelor of Arts in Product Design and Craft at Manchester Metropolitan University, United Kingdom. Maria uses materials that go unnoticed or go to waste. She creates pieces that are both beautiful and responsible, that reflect the beauty in aging and the stories that are embedded within the materials themselves. Each winning work represents a different approach to material use and perspectives.
This exhibition cross-pollinates the work that students are doing globally. Looking forward, we are building momentum and inspiring artists to get involved in next year's So Fresh and So Clean exhibition by finding a juror outside of the United States and continuing to share the excellent work from this year's online showcase on our Instagram. Through building awareness among student jewelers, we hope that many of them will join the momentum happening within this very room. We would really like to show our appreciation to Susan Wheeler, Andrea Hill, and Kristen Kopaz, and the Chicago Responsible Jewelry Conference team for inviting us to share this work with you today. Thank you also to the EM education team, especially Lucy Derrickson, Susie Gonch, and Sarah Parker for your support. And thank you to each of you for giving this project your energy today. And remember to check out the So Fresh and So Clean exhibition for more information and images. Thank you.